Hey everybody, Brad Ross here along with David Farr. What's happening, Dave?
What's up, Brad? What's up, everyone? Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, indeed. Thank you guys for hopping on with us for this last minute Q&A webinar session for the gosh, Dave, just the last couple hours of the Amazing System 4.0 deal.
It's been a long, strange, crazy trip, but yeah, we're finally coming down to the end of it here.
We are coming down to the end indeed. So basically, the point of today's webinar, like I said, it's a Q&A webinar. It is an opportunity for you guys to just ask a few questions about the Amazing System, anything that's kind of come to mind for you guys over the course of the past week. We were all together last week, this very moment, during the final day of the Internet Marketing Trilogy when we introduced you to the Amazing System 4.0, and we realized that many of you guys have taken us up on the offer, and we've had quite a few people get signed up and are harnessing the power of the Amazing System, and we'll be basically setting that up over the next few weeks and getting it all integrated into their website along with David Farr, done by David Farr. But there are a few people that are still on the fence. There's a few guys that had some questions that are unsure of maybe, if the Amazing System is right for them. And so we're going to field some questions. At this point, what we're going to do is, this is a very casual webinar, guys. If you have questions, please type them into the question box for David and I. I'm going to be reading them, and then David will be answering them, since he, of course, is the Internet Marketing Wizard. And if there's anything that does require a demonstration, or part of your question is asking Dave, hey Dave, can you show me how such and such would look, and we need to actually show you an example, we'll hop over to Dave's screen and we'll have him give you a little demo of whatever it is that you're asking. So just a quick hello. I see we've got quite a few guys here with us on the line. Welcome everyone that's just joining us here. The first question is a pretty common one coming in from Nick, and he's asking, does Amazing System work on Mac as well as PC? Dave, would you care to field that question?
Well, sure, it's a very common question that we get, and yeah, I mean the easy answer is yes, because it is all cloud-based. It's happening on your website and taking place within emails. Yeah, I mean it actually has nothing to do with. You don't even really need a computer. You can do a lot of it from your mobile device if you really wanted to. But no, it doesn't matter, Mac or PC. That is A-OK either way.
A-OK in our book. Of course, if it's Mac, I'll give you an extra couple points bonus, but because I do have Apple stock, actually. That's secretly why I encourage people to get Macs, is just to raise my stock.
Now it makes sense.
There you go. Here's an interesting question that's coming in from Donna, and she's asking, are people annoyed by receiving automatic emails? And that's something that I find that interesting, because we all live in such an email-friendly world, but what people tend to forget is that the emails, when you get something from Amazon or from eBay that is, here are products that you may enjoy. Okay, that's a clear automated email, and that can annoy people if they get too many of those. But remember that the emails that come to you, the emails that come to your customers or prospects appear to be personal. Anything you want to add about that, Dave?
Well, I just think, I still chuckle all the time, but more importantly, Amazing System members tell me that they chuckle all the time when people respond to these automated emails. Your customers, your prospects don't know that they're automated emails, and actually will respond to them as if you took the time to personally write to them. In fact, Joe Amano was just telling me the other day, he gets a chuckle every single time someone responds to one of his autoresponders, especially the one that follows up with them a whole year later. And they really feel that he took the time just out of the blue to touch base with them and follow up with them and ask them, about upcoming events this coming year. And people respond to it as if if they thought it was automated, Brad, they would not reply to the email like it's a real email. So
exactly.
The majority of the time they have no idea. Now, if you have a real fancy looking email, like a fancy newsletter, obviously, for most people, they understand that's an official kind of business email. But a lot of the stuff we do with the Amazing System is worded and set up in a way that it looks like a personal email.
Exactly. And it's funny, I think, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but David's dad, who is in his own business with the tanning salon industry, he's a consultant actually for tanning salons. David does some work with him in that market. And David's dad was scheduling a meeting with me because he also has hired me to do some consulting for him. And he saw the email that came through, the automated email, the newsletter, which clearly was a newsletter, but he only looked at the top part of it and thought I was inviting him to meet with me today at 2 o'clock. And he says, no, I can't do 2 o'clock. Can we do 2:30? And he really thought I was sending him a meeting about a coaching session for 2 o'clock today. So, I mean, part of that is David's dad's confusion with not really reading the entire message, but it was personalized enough that he still thought, not reading the whole thing, that I was still emailing him directly. So, if you're worried about people not receiving your automated emails in a positive way, don't worry about that. That's not an issue at all. Dave, next question is coming in from Jim, and he says he's in the middle of redoing his website. He wants to know if it would be more advantageous for him to get his website up and running first before doing the amazing system, or if he should wait, if he should just sign up and get into the amazing system right away. And let me just, before you even answer, Dave, let me just remind Jim and everyone else that the deadline is tonight. Amazing System is not a product that we keep on the market all year round. We've discovered that the best way to do it is to work, especially now with David doing so much personalized work and doing it all for the investors in the amazing system. It's just not possible to leave registration for this system open all the time. So that's why we only do this week launch. And when it will be back out, we really have no knowledge or information on when it will be re-released, if this version will be re-released or a future version will be. But if, for Jim and again everyone else, if you're in the process of redoing your site now and it's going to be ready in the next couple weeks, even the next month or two, I would get in on this deal now, because it is not going to be available when your site is done, if that is next week or next month or 2 months from now. So from the standpoint of just getting in on the deal and securing your spot, there's no rush to have David start the work if you're in the middle of updating your website. But David, do you want to add anything in about the actual design process of what happens when you start working?
Well, yeah, because I mean, other than the fact that our opportunity is going away tonight, that aside, it's actually easier. I mean, if you think about it, it actually is easier to kind of design the website with the amazing system in mind and your internet marketing strategies in mind. With that being said, that's not the case how most people, unfortunately, are introduced to this. Most people already have a website that's already designed, and so what we have to do then is go into the website and then make changes to it based on what we want to do with the amazing system. If you're actually able to build your website at the same time as we're developing these internet marketing strategies with the amazing system, it's actually a lot easier to do that, because when you're building the website, you can just build it right the first time, right away. The other way around, which is how most people have to do it, unfortunately, because most people already do have a finished website.
Mm-hmm.
Then they have to go and actually, make changes to their existing website, which isn't as easy as just building it from scratch, from ground zero, so to speak.
And, I mean, I think that, anyone, and this is something that has come up with my coaching clients, and Dave, I know you and I have talked about this for coaching clients of mine that you also consult with on their amazing systems. I mean, how many times do people have to go in anyway and make changes to their website, or have you go in and adjust things because of the new system? So it's, when you're starting from the ground up, it's actually a good situation. Regardless of where you are in your website, I always believe that a website is never finished. And I think you agree too, Dave.
This is true.
You're always updating something, especially with the beauty of what WordPress is. And those of us that use WordPress for our website, the power behind our website, it's an amazing tool that there's constantly new plugins and new pieces and things to add into your WordPress site. So a website should never be finished. So don't feel like, oh my gosh, I thought my website was done. Now I've got to go do something new. It's not like that. This is actually going to be a moneymaker for you. This is going to be a really, really good addition. Speaking of money, another question had come in, and the person asking the question wishes to remain anonymous, so we'll certainly respect that. Um, he says, "I'm sure I'm not the only person in this situation. I am not financially in great shape right now. I think that the system looks great. I've looked at several websites with the system on it. One guy said he even booked 50 shows the first month after setting it up. Are these results typical? I obviously have credit and I can use that, but things are tight right now and I have to be careful. I'm working towards making my number one source of income, and I'm struggling. Will this help me? Is it guaranteed?" We'll both answer to that. We could never guarantee a specific number of shows because so much goes into booking a show. It has to do with the content that's on a website. It has to do with your approach. It has to do with the amazing system. Yes, that is a big piece of it, but it also has to do with many different factors. So, can I guarantee you that you're going to book 50 shows in the first month like this other guy? No, that would be impossible to guarantee that, and it would not be fair. And anyone that could guarantee you a specific number obviously has a lot more magical powers than I do, and than Dave does. But what we can say is this. If you are struggling in your magic business to book shows right now, chances are a lot of the reason that you're struggling is that someone visits your website, and when they arrive at your website, they're not getting the information that they need to make the educated and the smart buying decision to hire you and to book you. With the amazing system in place, you are beefing up your response and the quality of the response that you are providing to the clients, because you are now giving them either the instant price quote, or you're allowing them to request information, and the speed in which you can implement these things, the speed in which you can get back in touch with the client is going to be super fast compared to your competition. Unless your competition is using amazing system, and you could, the chances are they're not, because not that many people are if we told you how many amazing system members there's probably somewhere, Dave, would you say in the number of 150 to 200 maybe?
Roughly, yeah, just shy of 200.
Just shy of 200 in the entire world. So, we are a very niche market. So chances are your competition is not using amazing system. And so, yes, you will be able to book more shows and much more easily if you are using amazing system. Obviously, we're all on a budget. That none of us are any different from that. Everyone's budgets and situations differ, but the fact that we all have to remain within a certain amount of money is certainly we're sympathetic with that, which is why we introduced the 4-pay plan, where it's basically the 4 payments of $249 a month over the next 4 months. You will see a return on that investment tenfold. Anyone that, again, in the past, that has invested in the amazing system and actually set it up, or hire David to set it up for them under the old business model, saw huge results in their business. I mean, we sent out 3 of those testimonials the other day. You heard from Joe Romano, you heard from Tom Crow, you've heard from so many people that are using the amazing system in their businesses, and they say they could never go back to booking shows without this. Now, the only difference is that in the past, you had to do the work. You had to customize the emails. You had to customize the autoresponders. You had to customize the e-promo kit. David just set up the technical stuff. That's not the case anymore. David is setting it up all for you. You answer a couple questions for him. You have a consult on the phone with him, and then he sets it up for you and then tells you how to respond, what buttons to click in your email when they come to you. So it's a virtual turnkey system that you are completely hands-off with, all the hard stuff, but then David is going to show you how to make this system go to work for you once it's all set up on your website. So the long explanation of this, and maybe David has something to add in too, the long explanation of this is that, yes, we understand that everyone's on a budget right now. This is the opportunity to get in on this. If you need to split it up into the 4 payments, do that. You will see a return on your investment. David and I can absolutely guarantee that, because we have seen what it has done for our own businesses. Both Dave and I hate to sound like the guy from Hair Club for Men. Not only are we the president of Hair Club for Men, but we're also a client. No, but not only do we and sell the amazing system, but David and I mean, David started the amazing system because it was his idea for himself, and it wasn't until people started saying, David, you have to put this out because other people would love this, and when I got hooked up with it all those years ago, I mean, I would never consider marketing myself without the tools in the amazing system. It's just it's not part of my plan. I would never ever run my business without this tool. So we can guarantee it from the results that we receive ourselves, and we can guarantee the return on your investment tenfold because of the results that other people get. And remember, David has his guarantee. He told you, if we set this up for you and you within a year are not absolutely, you have a full year to try this out, guys. You're not completely satisfied. Your customers are not impressed with your speed of getting back to them, and you haven't even made back your small investment. Yeah, we'll refund every penny of that. Absolutely. And we can say that with 100% confidence because it's never happened. It's never, no one's ever asked for a refund that has actually implemented this into their website. What would you add about that, Dave?
Well, a couple things here. Back to the can we guarantee 50 bookings in the first month? Like Brad said, obviously no, and actually I don't even think that's legal or ethical to promise such a thing, because there are so many variables. I mean, what if, just hypothetically speaking, what if you're the worst magician on the planet? Not that I'm saying anyone on the call is, but there's so many variables, though. So being able to guarantee that is obviously impossible, but I do also want to mention too that you can have the world's greatest website, the world's greatest lead capture system in place, like the amazing system, but if you have no traffic coming to your website, no qualified traffic, it's all pointless. And the great news about that is the amazing system, no, it's not about getting traffic to your website. It actually has nothing to do with getting traffic to your website. But as many of you hopefully know, Brad and I, as part of one of the bonuses, we're actually going to have a traffic workshop that we're putting on, a webinar-style workshop on how to get more traffic to your website. So we're both really excited about that. In fact, I'm working with some private clients and friends right now, actually some close friends, working on some traffic, sneaky traffic getting strategies that we're kind of beta testing, so to speak, right now. But that's a really exciting thing. As part of one of the bonuses, we're actually putting on a traffic workshop, how to get qualified traffic to your website.
And that traffic workshop will be open to the public. We are going to sell the admission to that webinar for $297. So I mean, it is got actual very high value because of, I mean, traffic is everything. I mean, we could sell it probably for a whole lot more because getting people to your website is worth a lot of money, considering that they're going to book you for a show. So you guys are going to have access to that as investors in the Amazing System 4.0 during this deal. You guys are going to have access to that webinar, and you have a VIP seat front row reserved right for that. David, another question came in saying that I have an existing website. Would it be possible to pretend the existing site is not there and totally develop a new site to take its place?
Well, and this is a common misconception about the Amazing System, that it's a website, and it's really not a website. I mean, I give you some website templates, specifically the birthday style website template, which you could definitely use as your own website or as an additional website to whatever existing website you have right now. But we're not, it's not a website makeover. That's actually come up several times. What's going to get made over is anything that's involving the lead capture system, the amazing system. But as far as having a big makeover of your website, that's not part of this package.
What we would suggest though is if you have a site that's up and running right now, install the amazing system on that and get it ready to go so you can learn it and you can start utilizing it without having to go through an added expense of redesigning your site. But just remember, and this is also tying in with Don's question, that was another one here in the box, is can the site be used on multiple platforms, multiple websites? Yes, it can. So this is for everybody. If you have a current site that's up and running and David sets the amazing system up on that site, and sets it up within, your one shop account and gets it all ready to go for you. 2 months down the line comes, 2 weeks down the line, 2 years down the line, you develop a whole nother site. Absolutely, all you have to do is insert the new forms on that new page. It's no big deal. It's a super easy transition because everything is set up. The hard work is setting it up in the back end and getting everything ready to go and figuring out what's going to be best for your business. The topical on the surface of what it actually looks like on your website, that's very, very easy to change and to fix. And if you currently have multiple sites, multiple niche markets, you can use the amazing system in multiple markets. I do it. I have 2 main markets that I work. One is my marketing business, MakeMagicMoney.com, and the other one is BradRoss.com, my Brad Ross site, and my performing business as an illusionist. And so I utilize the amazing system in both aspects of the business. So you certainly can have that access across multiple levels. And the gentleman that was asking the question about the increase that wished to remain anonymous earlier, he said, I wasn't asking about the specific number of shows, just an increase from where I am now. And yes, that's what we can promise. We can say that if you utilize everything that David sets up on your site, and the traffic secrets that David is good that we're going to share during the webinar, it's a no-brainer. You're going to see an increase because you are taking a fresh approach, and not just a fresh approach, but an approach that is working across the board. People that do birthday parties, people that work corporate, people that work high-end events, people that do schools. I mean, you name the market, and it is working in that market. So we're able to make a claim and say, yes, you will see an increase. I mean, you can't just, put it up on the website and never drive traffic there. You obviously know that. We're dealing with all, intelligent people right now, so you realize you do have to drive people and get people to go to the website, but that's oftentimes not the biggest challenge. I find that the biggest challenge is that people get to a website, and actually Dave and I were just talking about this the other night. We've seen so many websites where people go there and the information is not provided to them. They just have no clue. You don't know where to go. It's either too busy or there's not enough information on there, and what do? You click away.
Not a clear call to action.
Not a clear call to action, exactly. So remember that even though David is not going to be redesigning sites for you, sitting down and saying, all right, let me give you a whole site makeover, when you're consulting with him, that first hour consult call that you get within the 5 hours of consults that he's giving you, 5 full hours of his coaching, which is normally $200 an hour. During that first hour that you get free, it's a consultation to really figure out what you want to do. And part of that, David is going to look at your website and he's going to say, all right, I'm suggesting we do this, this, and this with the amazing system. And, part of that may involve saying to you, you really don't have any clear call to action on here. We need to make sure when people arrive here, they know to fill out this form. Maybe you might want to think about putting a video there. Maybe you might want to think about X, Y, and Z. So, you will get David's expertise, in that regard. It's just that David doesn't have the time. He's not a web designer, and he's not going to be able to sit down and physically redesign a whole website.
And Brad, actually, you brought up a great point. What I'm going to be doing with a lot of these guys is setting up their e-promo kits, and a lot of times in the e-promo kits we want to include things like pictures, videos, testimonials. Specifically on videos, maybe this is only just this one gentleman that asked it earlier, but in case anyone else is wondering too, I am not going to be making videos for you. So I mean, if you want to have videos like on your e-promo kit, for example, you will have to provide me, with a YouTube link or with some kind of, link to get the video, because even though you're seeing videos on my e-promo kits, that's something that you would have to do. I mean, I'm not going to fly to your country or to your state and shoot you a video to upload it to YouTube. Hopefully, you already have a video that you can provide. But if you don't, I mean, that's a whole. We could probably do a whole webinar on just shooting video and getting uploaded to YouTube there. But I did want to just throw that out there real quick. Certain things like that, I do need your help on. Like, I will need your videos. I will need pictures from you. I'm not going to magically be able to
Let
create
me.
pictures
I'm
on
I'm
my own.
gonna I'm gonna go out on a limb here, Dave, since this is coming up
Okay.
here, and we really didn't discuss this, and obviously we'll have to do this for everybody that has already invested in the amazing system, as well as the people that are listening right now. But would those of you guys that are on the fence right now, that are thinking about it, that are interested, would it be helpful? It seems like there's quite a few people that have questions dealing with their website and unsure of things on their website. Someone just said, my website is more of a brochure style. Is it easy to change to get people to actually purchase from me? So what if we were to do, for anyone that purchases Amazing System or has already purchased, because I know we have a few guys on right now that have already invested in it, what if we were to do a website review webinar where you guys all come on to a webinar and we just go straight through and actually review the websites, Dave and I, and give you the rundown of what we think should be changed, what we think is working, and that way it kind of gives you guys an extra little bit of coaching and guidance from me, because that is something that I typically reserve for my private coaching clients, website critiques and restructuring, kind of giving you a website critique, but the suggestions of what you should be doing for your website. Is that something that would be of interest to people? And if that is, if we get some people saying that it is, we'll add that in as an additional bonus. Would that be all right with you, Dave?
Well, in between what I'm already doing for everyone, I'll try to make it on
Well,
this
okay.
one.
I'll put it this way: you don't have to. You can just listen in while I help folks. Okay.
Okay. I'm shaking my head looking at my calendar already. Oh God.
All right. You don't have to do
Uh,
anything. You don't have to do anything. I will do it all on my own.
okay. Normally, Brad, we discuss this stuff before we bring it to the public.
We do, you do, but you know what? It's just something that I don't mind doing because these folks we're totally having this private conversation in front of everybody here. I don't mind doing it because I think, as you and I have been talking about lately, there's so many sites that are just small steps away from, really they just need to change some things around and shift some things around. So I feel like they need a little bit of direction, and being that, so much of what you're doing is going to be, focusing in on helping them and structuring it. Maybe we'll, as soon as we get back, David and I are, for those of you guys who don't know, David and I will be at Cadabra next week, and then as soon as we get back, I'd be willing to hop on early that week, the week of the 20th, I believe it is, Monday the 20th, sometime that week, hop on a webinar, and we'll get a list of everyone's website that is a new Amazing System member, and if for some reason you don't want your website critiqued on a webinar, we would not include it, but basically it would allow us to kind of, or allow me, David can listen in, to just kind of go through your site and make some suggestions, so that way you have, again, another opportunity just to get another set of eyes looking at your website, and that will help you in the process. And I'd be also willing during that webinar to offer some helpful tips on, ideas for e-promo kits and things that you may want to do, to spruce up your e-promo kit, some simple things. Again, if anyone's interested in that, just let us know.
We do have some positive
We
feedback
do.
in the
Okay.
chat box right now from folks. So yeah,
Yep.
that sounds
Matt
great.
Matt says he'd be interested. Jason, Gary, awesome. Okay, very cool. So I've committed to it now. We've also committed that Dave is gonna not have to do too much on that webinar because he's already gonna be busy working for you guys. So what we'll do is you'll get an email from me, and we'll call it the website. We'll call it something like the website makeover webinar, website makeover training, and we'll go through the websites and really offer you that help that you guys need, and again give you some more feedback on the e-promo kits. We'll take a look at some more e-promo kits, and we'll kind of go through that. So yeah, happy to do that for you guys. Very cool. Any other questions that we have? Let me just see here what else is coming in. It looks like okay. Here is one. Let's see. Okay. This is kind of dealing with the same thing with the traffic. Shouldn't I work on getting traffic to my site before implementing the amazing system? How do you want to field that, Dave?
I said that's probably, and that's been like a long time, very common question for many many years. And I did want to just bring up real quick. Brad mentioned, I started the Amazing System back in, I would think it was 2000. But the thing is, it wasn't called the Amazing System. In fact, it wasn't even set up to do anything for anyone else except me. And it was a long time ago. We've made so many improvements since then with the collaboration of folks, smart folks like we have on the line here today. So it's been really an interesting kind of roller coaster ride, and now what we're doing is just incredible. But the fundamental thing of that question of, it's kind of like which came first, the chicken or the egg? So people are always like, well, I don't have any website traffic yet. I really need to work on that first before I implement the amazing system. And what I say to that is, actually, if you really think about it, the thinking that's involved right there is actually backwards. And this is how I've actually first thought about it as well. So it's a very common way to think about this. But the thing is, if you work and if you spend a lot of time and a lot of money, which usually it's both, to get traffic to your website, usually takes a lot of time and a fair amount of money to get a lot of traffic to your website, qualified traffic. They're getting to your website, but you don't have the lead capture system in place. I mean, it's like it'd be like installing if you're a big company, installing like a really fancy telephone operating system, but not training the employees on how to deal with calls. And so you've got all these
Good
people
analogy.
coming,
Yeah.
you've got all these people coming in, but the people aren't trained. The people aren't trained to take these calls. So it's the same thing. You've got all this traffic coming in that you spend so much time and you spend so much money on, but you need to monetize that traffic. And the best way to actually monetize it is to send that traffic into a website that is heavy in the lead capture, which is obviously what Amazing System does.
And it's also kind of like, a situation we've all experienced. We've all bought magic tricks, and we'd love to put them in the show, but they take a lot of practice. And so, we have this expensive trick, sitting on the shelf, but it's not going into the show that we want to put it into because it's taken some time. So what do you need to do? At some point, you need to say, all right, I got to practice the trick to put it into the show. Well, that's just like this. You got to get the system implemented. Can't practice something and then go buy the trick. You have to actually, have the trick, practice it, and put it in the show. You got to go that standard route. And so what Dave is saying is, you once you have these tools, if you're going to drive people to your website and your website is not adequately set up with the lead capture, in other words, the opt-in, the request information, the instant price quote, any of those techniques, if you're driving them to the website and they're not getting what they need, well, there's no point of driving them to the website because now you've lost your chance. And, there's no point in doing that. So get this set up and then worry about the traffic.
You don't want to waste quality traffic, because if you guys haven't done, trying to get traffic, there's a couple different. Of course, we're going to talk about this on the traffic webinar, but there's search engine optimization, which typically takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and there's Google AdWords, which is a lot easier, except it costs money. So I mean, you're spending time, you're spending money, and you don't want to waste this quality traffic on when they get to your website and you don't have a way to really monetize that quality traffic. So I always tell people you don't want to waste that. If you spend that much time and money on it, you really want them to go to a website that's optimized to capture that lead already. So that's why we always suggest working on the amazing system side of things first and then dive in and get that traffic. What's cool is once you get the lead capture system in place and it's exactly how you want it, then you can focus all your efforts on getting traffic to that website, because then it's all a numbers game. The more traffic, the more qualified traffic you get to your website. And when I say qualified, by the way, of course, we'll talk about this more in our upcoming webinar, but qualified traffic means not people that, if you look at your traffic logs, you probably see people from all over the world go into your website. Now, are people from other parts of the world actually potential clients of yours? Probably not. In fact, they're probably just high school students researching magicians or whatever. So that's an example of not quality traffic. Quality traffic is when someone finds your website who's looking to hire a performer, looking to hire an entertainer, looking to hire a magician, or looking to hire whatever it is that you offer. That's quality traffic. They get to your site, they're looking to hire someone, and then it comes down to, does your site convince them to request info, and then does your info request process, your lead capture process, does that knock them dead? And that's where the amazing system comes into play.
Exactly. Let's see, any other questions here? Just browsing through. I have to scroll up here, guys. Sorry. Here's one. This is coming in from Josh. Can't my webmaster set up the autoresponders with my hosting account?
Another very common question, and I think we addressed this a little bit on, I think it was webinar 2 last week. But yeah, the thing is with your hosting account, yes, most hosting accounts do come with autoresponders, but they're very simple autoresponders. They're typically the type of autoresponder that you would use for an auto reply when you're out of the office, which we've all seen before. When you email someone, and a minute later you can email said, thanks for your email. I'm out of the office till next week. In the meantime, please contact my friend at such and such number. That's more of an auto reply, but that's the type of autoresponder you're getting with the hosting account. So basically, it doesn't do personalization. It can't merge in, dear Mary, I'm looking forward to working with you at Stevie's party. It doesn't do any of that type of thing, and it also can't do delayed follow-ups. So if you want a follow-up to go, not tomorrow, next week, or next year, none of that's possible with the standard hosting account autoresponder, because those are meant to only be triggered when someone emails you, typically when you're on vacation, and then it sends them back a non-personalized quick email stating that basically you're on vacation or whatever. So it's a very good question. A lot of people ask that, but unfortunately the autoresponders that are set up with hosting accounts are not smart autoresponders like we like to call them.
They're the dumb kids class, those autoresponders. They're not the cool, amazing system ones. Let's see if there are any more questions. Feel free, guys. This is an opportunity to ask any additional questions that you have. Do I have to get control of my website from my webmaster designer in order to include the amazing system?
Well, that's a great question. And the thing is, one way or another, we're going to need to access your website. So if your webmaster has completely disappeared from the face of the planet, and they've been taken to some government program or something, we do need some kind of access. So typically, we can get that from your hosting account. So, a lot of times, and of course, everyone's situation is different, but the most common scenario like this is basically your webmaster designed the website, probably a college kid, and that was several years ago, and you're probably paying for your hosting account, out of your own pocket. He's probably long gone, I'm sure, as far as the monetary equation. I'm sure you're no longer paying him, and if you were paying him, you'd still have access to your website. So what we typically do in this situation would be contact the hosting company directly, which there are things we can look them up. So, for example, if your website's davidfarr.com, which is obviously my website, but if you can do a who is search on the internet, and it will tell you the hosting company that hosts your website, and that's who we actually need to contact. So typically, it's usually not a problem. Is it 1 in a million chance that there's zero way to get in there? I mean, sure, there is a chance that we can't get in there, but I haven't run into that issue yet. Every single time we have one way or another. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's more difficult to get that website access. But in one form or another, we will need to get website access. At worst case scenario, we give everyone the 6-page sample website. It's the the kids party website, or the instant price quote, whatever niche you want to go after. Most guys do birthday parties as a real easy way to get started. But if you don't have access to your current website, what we can do is set up a brand new domain name and put those files there, put those sample template files there, and make that into a website that you actually do have access and do have control over. So, of course, though, we do prefer to do it on your current website if possible. But worst case scenario, we can always set you up with a new domain name and your own hosting account that you do have full control over. And that way, for the future too. I mean, if you ever have a website designed by someone, please make sure that they give you the website access info before you stop working with them. Critically important here. I hope that answers the question.
think it does. Uh, any other questions, guys, before we wrap things up? Does anyone have any questions about any of the bonuses? Anyone have any questions about anything else? I know we've answered quite a bit today. We want to try and keep this session to just under an hour, if possible. So, last couple minutes here to ask questions. Is there anything else you want to add, Dave? About anything people have asked? You and I have been dodging emails all week long from folks that have been interested. So, is there anything else you wanted to add in?
Gosh, I can't think of anything right now. I guess another common question is how soon can I see this set up on my website?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that's kind of a loaded question because now, I mean, of course, Brad and I will be at Cadaver next week, so we're not starting the consultations, by the way, until our first consultation is the Monday after Cadaver, which I believe is the 20th of August. So that's when we're starting the consultations, and that's the initial 1 hour consultation with everyone. I set this up privately. So, from our first consultation to actually having it finished on your website, I would guess. Now, this also comes down to how much time it takes for you to get your stuff to me. Like I said before, I don't magically have your videos. I don't magically have your testimonials, and I magically don't have your pictures or your logos. I mean, I do need that stuff from you. So it's tough for me to totally answer that because if you're like a lot of folks, if you're busy, and I'll say, hey, do you have any pictures? Do you have any videos? And if it takes you several days to get back with that information, then obviously my hands are tied until I get that information. So, in a perfect world, I would say from our initial consultation to finally being implemented and ready, probably about 2 weeks time.
What I would suggest is, in the meantime, to have everybody, you guys gathering into between now and the next week, basically until you speak with David and get everything all set up. I would suggest that you take all of the information. Pictures that you want to use in your e-promo kit, testimonials you want to use in your e-promo kit, prices, videos, description of your show, have that ready, basically your phone pitch, whatever you say in terms of your description that you would tell people over the phone, if you can write that out in a Word document, and gather all that stuff up into a tight little folder so that when you get on with David, you can say, all right, I've got these testimonials, I've got, have more. It's better to have too many testimonials and too much description than not have enough and you have to go search for it.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. That'd be really helpful, guys, actually, because I am seeing that a lot with just simple things like Brad was saying, the prices, show descriptions, if you have packages that you offer, explanations of the packages. These are all things that I unfortunately don't magically know by ESP. So if you can have that stuff kind of lined up in advance, that will definitely save us time, and we'll get more bang for the buck out of our coaching sessions together.
Excellent. Any other questions, guys, before we wrap things up? We are just 10 minutes shy of the hour here, and this is your final opportunity to let us know what is on your mind, anything that's holding you back, and please, guys, just if there is anything, please feel free to speak up right now. We've had a lot of guys, like we said, email us over the course of the past week with a lot of specific questions, and now is an opportunity to get those questions answered. Don't feel shy. Don't be embarrassed to ask questions. Once things are set up later on, if I want to make a change, do you help with that? And let me just add in, so David, because I'm sure David won't admit to this himself, but everybody raves. Everybody. You heard it in several of the I think in every single testimonial video that you watched this week, they all raved about David's customer service. And in fact, David yelled at me last night when I said, come on, David, we got to talk on the phone. We got to work out some stuff for Cadaver. He says, I'm working on customer service right now. I'm responding to emails. So he was yelling at me that he didn't have time for me because he was dealing with customers. David's customer service is pristine. He offers some of the best that there is. He's really on top of it. So let me just start it out by saying that David, does offer a lot of support, and that's one of the bonuses that comes with Amazing System is the unlimited support. What did you want to add, Dave?
Well, yeah, I want to touch upon that. A lot of guys, they want to learn how to do some of the basics themselves, and that's what I'm looking forward to doing and sharing with them and teaching them how to make simple changes like that. Now, there are some folks that did not want to learn anything, and they didn't want to have to touch code at all, didn't want to have to touch their website at all. And if that's the case, what we do is anything that we want to do, we want to try to keep within our 5 hours of coaching time. If you do need to make changes above and beyond that, we can either teach you how to do it yourself, or you can hire us to do the changes for you. But the key is you do have the freedom and flexibility to learn how to do it yourself, and I can walk you through exactly how to do it to make those changes. There's one other thing I was going to mention too. What was that? Now the support, the support is definitely one thing that we're known for here. Everyone raves about the support. So if you do have problems or questions, definitely there's actually a support. We have a dedicated support desk, which is support.amazingsystem.com. So if you have any questions, any problems, please just go there and submit your issue, and we're very prompt at responding and getting back to people right away and helping people out right away. So definitely we have support there. The support is offered for life. As long as you're an Amazing System member, you've got support for life. But to answer that specific question, we can either teach them how to do it themselves, or if you still have coaching time left, we can definitely make changes for them. So it really depends on the style of person that you are. If you want everything hands off, no problem, we can do that. If you want to learn how to do some of the basics yourself, we can do that as well.
Excellent. Let's see, any final... Nope, the question box. I think we've pretty much answered everything in the question box. So, again, guys, anything else that's on your mind? David and I are still here. If there's no other questions, we will wrap things up early, but we'll give you guys another minute or two to add that in. Again, the deal is all listed at magicmarketingmen.com. The two payment options are one payment of $9.95 or four equal payments of $249. Split 30 days apart, no interest. So whatever works better for your financial situation, the one pay or the four pay, choose that when you go to magicmarketingmen.com. Up on magicmarketingmen.com is also the past 3 webinars. Those will disappear tonight when the deal is over at midnight. They will vanish. 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the last opportunity to get in on it. We don't sit there waiting to shut it off. David actually has it programmed so that at midnight the deal actually vanishes, and you'll be just redirected to a sorry you missed it page with some cute little graphic, I'm sure. But do not wait until midnight to actually make the purchase. It's funny, there's always people that want to test it and see if it'll work. And sometimes in the past it used to, because we would actually shut it down at midnight. But now with the automated system that we're using, we just program it and it redirects at that precise moment. So don't test it. You can certainly see what the cute little graphic is later if you want to visit it, but I wouldn't wait until midnight to order because the system is going to boot you out. So again, the webinars will disappear tonight. So if you did want to watch anything, grab any additional information from those webinars, please feel free to do so today before they vanish tonight. And then we also posted a Q&A. David, you can hear, has been frivolously, I'm not sure if that's the right word, typing away. Been putting these questions into the Q&A, the frequently asked questions, so that is up on on magicmarketingmen.com, so you can refer back to any of those frequently asked questions, and we will edit this replay real quick as soon as we wrap up here in a few minutes and send this out to you guys and everyone else to answer your questions. So let me check the question box one more time to make sure we got everything. And it looks like we did. No other questions, Dave. So, anything you wanted to add in before we wrap up?
I think we've done good.
We've done good. Excellent. Well, good. I'm glad we got to do this today. Glad we got to answer some questions. And look at that. You guys even got another bonus out of it. A Dave hands-off, a David Farr hands-off bonus, a Brad Ross bonus.
Something that I did not approve of ahead of time, but I'm glad that you're taking the bull by the horns.
I will take the bull by the horns, and no, I think it'll be fun. It's something I do with my coaching clients, and I think it'll be fun to kind of give those website critiques and whatnot. So we will let everyone know, even the existing purchasers who've already purchased it, we'll let them know that that's another additional bonus included, last-minute bonus included that they will have access to. So, if you guys do have any questions that you think of before tonight, please feel free to drop us a line. You can email Dave at davidfarr.com or Brad at makemagicmoney.com and get your orders in to magicmarketingmen.com before tonight at midnight Eastern Standard Time, and we will both look forward to working with you and helping you take the amazing system to new heights in your business. Thank you guys for participating in this webinar on behalf of... Oh, wait, there's one more question. Matt, you're right in the buzzer, Matt, just as I was ready to wrap up. Is the website webinar part of the amazing system purchase or a separate item? No, the website critique webinar is not something that you'll be able to purchase. That will be part of the amazing system. So anyone that purchases the amazing system during this launch will be entitled to participate in that website critique webinar that we'll do the week of the 20th of August, sometime that week. So no, that the website... No, don't worry, Matt. He says, sorry for getting the question in at the last minute. No worries. The Traffic Secrets, that webinar will be open to the public. It'll be a $297 webinar for anyone that is not an amazing system purchaser during this particular launch. But the website webinar, it'd be too much to invite all of my entire list, to purchase access onto that. So we're just going to restrict that to the people that purchased during the Amazing System webinar. So look for an email about that. And if we'll give you one more option. Any other final questions before I do the wrap up again?
Going once.
Going twice. All right, looks like we did tap him out on questions now. Okay, cool. Well, thanks again, guys, for joining us today. On behalf of David Farr for the Amazing System 4.0, I'm Brad Ross from MakeMagicMoney.com saying do what you love and love what you do. We'll see you guys on the inside of Amazing System.